commercial break. MattyVision.com. Thank you, Joe Namath, for stopping by, talking up that big jet swing. We'll get to that on the next show. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a moose. This here is a doctor, and all rise. That's the Honorable Judge Muggsy. This is the Sports Report local edition for 9/9/13, the German date. 9/9. Doctor, 9.
No.
I don't know how to say
No.
yes in German, so I'm gonna leave
Nine
it
is
that.
German for no.
Yeah.
No. So no 13. Something like that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk a little high school football. We're going to talk a little Falcons football. We're going to start off with the judge, and then stay tuned. We got 2 shows coming. We're also going to do a pro show. You'll hear about that later with this guy if we can teach him to talk.
Here we go again. Come on. Let's get going.
All right. Here come the judge. Here come the judge.
Well, been about 3 weeks since we did our preview show, right? Yeah, so high school football, every team has had 2 games in the Lackawanna Football League. So now I can go ahead here and reveal a top 10. How about that?
Ooh, the top 10.
Top 10.
Yep.
Better than Letterman's here.
Yeah. We'll start with...
Rivals Letterman.
Oh, yeah, Letterman, yeah. No, it's Johnny Carson. Actually, start off, you got me losing my train of thought here. Start out with number 10, Lakeland Chiefs, 1-1 on the year. They had a 27-19 win over GAR. Lost last week 26-21 to Valley View. Lakeland, the running game's they've been a little sluggish in the start of the season. Chris Roach was highly touted. He only has 142 yards rushing so far in 2 games, but he did have 68 receiving yards and a touchdown in the win over GAR, which was a big game to open the year as far as AA was concerned in District 2. Gavin O'Donnell, though, the passing game has been pretty good. Gavin O'Donnell has 8 catches for 193 yards, 2 touchdowns. He caught 5 passes for 130 yards in the win over GAR.
Gar!
More and more high school teams are going to the air. More and more.
Yep.
More sophisticated scheming by the offensive coaches.
Well, if you got the players, the team that beat Lakeland is number 9 on the list, the Valley View Krugers. A very eye-opening loss in week 1, 35-0. They fell to Walla-Paulpack before they came back and beat Lakeland last week. They only had 120 total yards against Walla-Paulpack.
It's like that Pittsburgh Steelers offense there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No Jeopardy themes, Price is Right themes or whatever. But the running game came back against Lakeland. Rob Nardelli had 138 yards. Scott Washilchak had 113 himself. Jeremy Nieves had an 88-yard kickoff return for a touchdown for Valley View. It was a big win for Valley View to get on track, because it would have been very hard for Valley View to start the year 0-2. And then the next 8 teams are all undefeated on the year. They're all 2-0. Start with number 8, the Lackawanna Trail Lions. They just keep putting new guys in. They just keep running the same old stuff up there in Dalton. But so far, it's been the quarterback play of Vic Mallory. 16 of 22 for 349 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions.
Wow, who's that? Peyton Manning?
6 touchdowns. Is that right?
6?
Peyton? Was that Peyton?
Yeah.
Something like that. Jod Zidar is the all-purpose back. He's the Reggie Bush of the Lions. He's that Reggie Bush. He has 144 yards rushing, and then another 141 yards receiving. So
wow.
So he has 285 yards between rushing and receiving on just 22 touches in 2 games. So that's about 10 yards, a little over 12 yards a touch, I think.
I think you know who the defenses of the other teams will be keying on in a couple games. Then.
Yeah, 39-7 win over Nanticoke, and then an arena football score, or a Madden score, 54-40 over Hanover area last weekend. So we'll see if the Lions can keep up in single A. Number 7, the surprise team so far is Walla-Paulpack.
Oh! That surprised me.
Shot there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, the 35-0 win over Valley View, and then over their arch rivals from Honesdale in the Shrine Bowl, 28-26 over Honesdale. Jovan Marshall, 300 yards rushing in 2 games. he had 204 against Valley View. He had a big night against the Krugers. Not many players can say that, right?
Eddie's home.
When did they change your name to the Krugers, Valley View? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Freddy's home.
You're getting awfully close, Dugan.
They want to be held in contempt.
Yeah. Rick Smith had 61 yards rushing in the game last week with Holmesdale, 2 touchdowns, and then he added a kickoff return for a touchdown to key the Buckhorns for quarterback John Steffen. Steffen, yeah, with F's.
He was stepping up.
Yep.
Steffen up. The doctor's on.
Number 6 on the list, the Knights of Scranton. A lot of people thought, well, where the weapon's going to come from outside of Jake McCarthy. Jake McCarthy has been advertised in 2 games. He's rushed for over 200 yards in both games.
They haven't needed much offense besides McCarthy.
Yeah, he scored 7 touchdowns already for the Knights.
Been traveling around more than the McCarthy Flower taxi cabs. It's great.
Yep.
Any relation?
I don't know. That's for another day. The quarterback, Kyle Perchinsky, 311 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. 3 of them have gone to Josh Gonzalez, who's kind of stepped into the Quiller role for the Knights offense. 7 catches, 202 yards, and those 3 touchdowns for Scranton as they're 2-0 with wins over Hazleton and Pittston area. Gonna keep it right here, number 5. These West Scranton Invaders.
West Side!
They are 2-0. They barely had to break a sweat their first 2 games. 54-12 over Riverside, 35-0 over Tunkhannock. Angel, they have a lot of guys that can run the ball behind this big offensive line that they have. But Angel Ortiz in 2 games has 13 carries for 216 yards.
It's a good yard per carry. I heard you that.
Yep.
Wow.
Josh Williams has been kind of the bruiser, I guess you could say. 23 carries, 190 yards. And Leo Chulo stepped in at quarterback. He's only had to throw the ball 9 times in 2 games. The classic West Scranton quarterback, but he's thrown 5 touchdowns.
West Side!
And Lou DeBellio, he's caught 3 passes. They've all gone for touchdowns. So very efficient up there.
Yeah.
Big fan of DeBellios.
Yeah, it's good that they finally found some usage of that big body. He's a big athletic guy.
Yeah.
And, a red zone target for him. So.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll talk about this week's games coming up in a minute. Number 4, we'll go to Clark Summit, the Abington Heights Comets, 2-0. They've not given up a point yet in 2 games. 28-0 shutout over Pittston, 17-0 over Dallas. And it's our old friend, it's the Big Show!
Big Show.
Yeah, I just stole Moose's line, I bet. Yeah, he can call me in contempt, but I wanted to do that
That's
once.
okay.
I wanted to do that
I'm
once.
having fun.
Yeah. But yeah, J.C. Shell, 20 of 27 for 277 yards passing. And Nate Hollander, we knew he was going to be the main target, and he's been advertised as well. 12 catches, 201 yards receiving, and 2 touchdowns. Those 2 coming in the game over Dallas on Saturday. And he had a big punt return to open the scoring against Pittston in what was a defensive struggle early on in that first half in the opener. Sean Rock, he's been the one carrying the rock up there.
If you smell!
But the rock is cooking. Yep. 36 carries, 269 yards. He had a big game against Pittston. He rushed for 197 yards and added a 30-yard touchdown reception for the Comets up there. So they got a running back in the defense.
The Rock.
And the defense they're doing their job. They're with 2 shutouts.
The Rock and the show.
Yep.
A lot of pain and gain for that running back.
Somebody's got to share this to the show. Because we've been talking about him for like 8 years now, and he probably doesn't even know we're talking about.
Yeah. Number 3, another defense that's been as advertised so far is Scranton Prep. They've had already in 2 games 4 defensive and special teams touchdowns. They had 3 against Wyoming area in the opener. They took back 2 interceptions and blocked a punt, and then they returned another punt in the game against Western Wayne last week. 35-7 Wyoming area, and the 7 was a mercy rule touchdown. So, and then Western Wayne was 49-0. So Scranton Prep, they've been as advertised. for Pat Marino. He's the running back there this year. He already has 191 yards for Scranton Prep.
Dan Marino's kid.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
I was waiting.
Isotoners, right?
Laces out. Hello. Great minds, huh?
Yep, Scranton Prep, they are 2-0. It's going to be a very interesting Lackawanna Football Conference Division 1 as we get into league play starting in week 4, which is next week. Yeah, but the top 2 teams are the 2 we expected to be there. Number 2 is Old Forge, the Blue Devils. They're the only school right now that's their students are not in school because the teachers just don't want to get. Teachers and the school board just don't want to get going here.
So how are they playing football if they're not allowed in school? So there's some kind of...
I think that's called living the dream for a high school kid.
It's called high school football is above all else.
Yeah.
Welcome to Texas football.
Whatever it is, Old Forge is 2-0. They had a grinded out 13-7 win over Lake Lehman in the opener. And then they beat Wilkes-Barre Myers last week 49-6. Back to the old days when Thomasetti was running the ball.
Yep.
But in the first game, in the game against Lake Lehman, they had a big play from Shane Schuback. He had a 30-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Jake Manetti that broke a 7-7 tie right before halftime, and then Schuback had the game-clinching interception late in the fourth quarter when Lake Lehman was driving for the winning touchdown for Old Forge. And Brandon Yaskavich, 384 yards rushing in 2 games. He had 245 against Myers for Old Forge. And the number 1 team, Dunmore. How do you like your buck meat?
Dunmore.
Yep. Dunmore, like West Scranton, didn't have to break a sweat in the first 2 games. 48-13 over North Pocono, 48-7 over Wilkes-Barre GAR last week.
Guard.
Daquan Buckley, 457 yards already and 8 touchdowns for Dunmore. He just eclipsed the 4,000-yard mark this past weekend. Josh Schiller has caught 5 of quarterback Brandon Kajowski's 7 passes for 115 yards for the Bucks so far for the number 1 team in my poll. So it brings us to week 3.
Week 3!
And the 2 big ones, it comes down, the first one involves Dunmore. Number 1 Dunmore hosting number 5 West Scranton.
West Side!
The old Thanksgiving Day rivalry is back in play. And this could be one of the quickest games ever played because both these teams like to run the football.
Where's it at?
It's at Dunmore.
At Dunmore.
Yep, they'll be run left, run right, right up the middle. That game could be done by 9 o'clock, but it should be a very hard-fought, old-school, run it till you puke.
Very good measuring stick game for both teams.
Especially for West Scranton, because like I said, they barely had to break a sweat these first 2 games. We all knew Dunmore would be very good, but for West Scranton, this is a redemption game because they nearly beat Dunmore a year ago. Had that 2-point conversion at the very end go against them.
Yeah. West got to win the battle of the trenches. They got to dominate like they should. And obviously, after trying to minimize, I don't think you can stop Buckley, but try to minimize the damage he does. You can't go running wild on him.
Yeah.
Is that the same thing?
Yep, so we'll see what happens here. Also, Scranton Memorial Stadium is a big quad A battle. Wyoming Valley West will be at Scranton on Friday night. These are the 2 teams that I guess are going to be at least the early favorites for the sub-regional out of District 2. So the winner here would make that giant leap, I guess you could say, towards at least the number 1 team out of the sub-regional for quad A. And an important game for Valley View, I guess, kind of keep up with that momentum that they just got for beating Lakeland. They host a very dangerous 0-2 Honesdale team. Honesdale, they were supposed to be a sleeper. They haven't won a game yet, but they're very dangerous. They've played competitive in both their losses for the Hornets. And then Saturday, Old Forge, they're at Holy Redeemer on Saturday afternoon.
Holy Redeemer!
Now, I expect Old Forge to win the game, but Saturday afternoon, it's a routine breaker. And Holy Redeemer's got a pretty good quarterback in Jimmy Strickland who can throw the ball around the field. So Old Forge better not be looking ahead to the next week, because they're at Dunmore in week 4. And then Carbondale on Saturday night, the only other area Lackawanna League team that's 2-0, they're in my honorable mention. They posted back-to-back shutouts over Montrose and Riverside, but this would be a game, if Carbondale is for real, this would be a game that they should win. So we'll see if Carbondale can go to 3-0 at GAR Saturday night. And before I close the football, we do want to send some get well wishes here to Holy Cross running back Andrew Mies. He was playing in the game against Holy Redeemer on Saturday. Very, I guess you could, one of those injuries to your head. He had to go into surgery Saturday night. He was successful though, and word is that he's supposed to be released at some point this week. He's a senior, so his football career is likely over, but he's going to stay on at least be a student coach, I guess, for the rest of the year. Get well soon, Andrew Mies. If you have Twitter, you can follow him at HCMies1. HCMIES1. If our good producer could put that on the screen for us.
Ox, hook him up. Mox will give you the info.
Yep. So we'll see how that goes. You want to add a Falcons?
Yeah, I got a little Falcons news here. The Falcons traveled to Abington to play South Abington Saturday. D team still undefeated, 3 touchdowns. Abington with 1 touchdown. Super Bowl C team champs are still on a winning streak, 36-0. With Caden Merrifield had 2 touchdowns and 3 touchdown passes. Jacob, Michael, and Colin. Yeah. Scored. They scored with the touchdown passes from Caden. B team lost 25-20. Great game. Mason Spano and Nathan Trotta with touchdowns. And the A team, tough one. They lost 32-0. Abington had 2 brothers on the team, just fast, just like lightning. You know, I'm Kyle Lewis.
Grease lightning.
They're like, I'm Kyle Lewis, right there. Usain Bolt. They were. So tough loss for the A. Who's Falcons playing this weekend, Coach? Wilkes-Barre. The Bears.
They're first place.
Oh, tough first place Wilkes-Barre this weekend, Sunday.
It's homecoming.
And it's homecoming for the Falcons. Sunday afternoon. What a great environment it always is here. Stop by, support your local Falcons team. Passing it back to Muggs.
All right. Before I wrap here, I do want to get some other sports here involved because we're about a month into the high school sports season. Get some golf in here. Not Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson, okay? But high school golf. We have Scranton Prep, Abington Heights, the usual suspects in Division I in the Lackawanna League. Chris Ciaramano, Tom Keegan for Scranton Prep, I should say, leading for Scranton Prep. For Abington Heights, they are led by the Jackman Memorial Boy. That was the first event of the year for high school, the Jackman Memorial Golf Tournament, Scranton Muni, back 3 weeks ago. Anthony Sebastianelli from Abington Heights was the boys' winner. He was the boys' winner. Julia Santo from Walpack was the girls' winner up there at Scranton Muni from the Jackmans. They are leading Division I for both of those teams in golf. And in Division II, we have Holy Cross.
Holy Cross!
And Dunmore. They are both 7-0 in Division II. Holy Cross is led by the law firm of Dominic and Angelo Manicelli. Up there.
Nice.
And Dunmore, they are led by Dave Dunmore name. Lopatic.
Dunmore name. Racist?
No, I was trying to pronounce it right. And Kevin Lopaka, yep.
Alpaca.
Dugan gets the save of the day. And Kevin Quinn for Dunmore. And throw a little tennis in here before I bang it. And it's girls tennis in the fall, so Abington Heights, they keep winning. They have a match-winning streak of over 45 now in the Lackawanna League. So yeah, Abington Heights, Tyra Abdallah, Sierra Beck, Caroline Matisse. They're all unbeaten in singles. What are you going to do? Same thing with Scranton Prep and AA. Grace Riley, Emily Johnson, they're all in the field. How can you beat them? How can you beat them in tennis in this area? So that's my report. I'll try to, next time I'm here, I'll try to throw in some cross-country soccer and volleyball. I am out.
All right, then. We're gonna end this show here, but look for our pro edition. It'll be coming in shortly after this one or before this one, depending how you watch it. Coming up after the break, Joe Theismann. How about that guest? You're watching MattyVision.com. We do.
The difference between you and me.